It could be other things about Trump. I mean, he's all over this stuff.
Or
he's the one who could.
Or it could be nothing about. I mean, you know what I mean? I do think it is just as possible.
There's some reason why he doesn't want this to go.
Could it be that it's a distraction from fixing the economy?
I don't.
This could have been a distraction
from a lot of different things.
This could have been over 6 months ago.
Here's why I don't.
For years, MAGA loyalty has survived scandals, contradictions, and outright chaos. But the Epstein files have exposed a fracture no one in that movement can easily paper over. Even some of Trump's most unwavering supporters are now asking why he spent years blocking the release of documents he once claimed would drain the swamp. The tension isn't coming from the left, it's coming from within his own coalition, from people who believed he was the outsider who would take on the elites. When a narrative built on exposing powerful networks suddenly flips into protecting them, the base starts to feel betrayed. And that's exactly what we're watching happen in real time. Before we dive into the full story, don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss the next one. Now, all that in mind, let's walk through the clips to the show, and along the way I will break down not just what was said, but what was really going on in the next studio. Now let's get into it.
It could be other things about Trump. I mean, he's all over this stuff.
Or
he's the one who could.
Or it could be nothing about. I mean, you know what I mean? I do think it is just as possible.
There's some reason why he doesn't want this to go.
Could it be that it's a distraction from fixing the economy?
I don't.
This could have been
from a lot of different things.
This could have been over 6 months ago.
Here's why I don't. Hello, everyone. I'm Abby Phillip in New York, and for months we have seen the cracks in MAGA world start to form. But this week, the earthquake some of Donald Trump's staunchest supporters have taken issue with is his foreign deals, his military strikes, his defense of Tucker Carlson's, his ballrooms, the economy, and for the most part, they disagree and move on. But one issue that Trump could not beat back. The president has tried keeping the Epstein files a secret. He's threatened Republicans. He's called them stupid. His Justice Department declared it case closed just a few months ago. His Republican speaker held up a vote for weeks. But when Trump realized that the vote wouldn't go in his favor, he turned the tables and he ordered the DOJ to investigate Democrats. Even though Epstein recently revealed emails mentioned Trump many times, including the claim that he knew about the girls. So, while the president did sign the bipartisan bill to release the files, there are still many questions about what we will see and when. And some MAGA voices are no longer following along blindly.
This is the end of the Trump administration. This is the beginning of the lame duck presidency. It's obvious to everyone, even his most ardent supporters show up to the White House, like Laura Ingraham, and she's kind of shocked going, what the hell's going on?
Epstein files.
I heard there's no files. I heard it's a hoax. And then all of a sudden, he's going to release the files. Well, I thought there was no files.
Man.
He wants an investigation now.
Listen.
Like, what is going on?
What is going on? Instead, why do you think this has been the thing that after all the things that Trump has done, this is the thing that has caused MAGA to crack?
Well, I think there's few issues that make Trump look inauthentic, that make him side with the political establishment or insiders over outsiders. I think that the MAGA base is made up of a lot of different slices, and I've talked to many of them who really see Trump as a bulwark against the rich and powerful, even though he always embodied that every step of his career. They saw him as something that was an outsider against those folks. This has changed that, and I think has really kind of struck to the heart of what folks find a sequel that has been, I think, less tethered to the maybe working class values he espoused on trail. He hasn't actually followed through on that, on the economy, on the several other things. I think Epstein has really crystallized that. It doesn't surprise me that this has been the issue to cut through noise, because particularly it matters, I think, in gerrymandered districts when things are reaching Republicans. And that is the slice of people. Reuters poll had 60% of Republicans thought the government was keeping parts of the Epstein file secret, had something to hide. Yeah. That's a unique issue among the landscape.
Yeah, to your point, this Marquette law poll asks the question a bit differently. It asks his approval rating on this Epstein situation. Among Republicans, he can't even hit 50% in terms of approval. He's at 43%. And then we're in the teens with Democrats and independents. Terry, what do you make of what Ased just said there? I mean, is this Trump really kind of betraying his outsider persona and siding with not just the establishment, but I mean, many in MAGA believe that this is a conspiracy, in the truest sense of the word, a cabal of people trying to protect the rich and the powerful. And Trump seems to be siding with them.
Yeah, look, I think that for most of the base in MAGA and a lot of the activists that were his most loyal supporters, I think this move was very shocking to them. They voted for him to expose the elite and the rich, and so they were shocked when he didn't want to release it. However, that's all coming true now. The documents are going to be released. We're going to see everything that's in there, and that's a good thing. That's a good thing for America. Now, I think there were a lot of reasons that you could decide to not want to release the full Epstein files, right? There are probably going to be a lot of innocent names of people. These are every email. These are the text messages. This is everything that Epstein ever touched. So there's going to be a lot of innocent people implicated in there that were not involved in sexual exploitation. But the reality is that President Trump, the question about whether or not he is an opponent of sexual exploitation of children is clear. He has been doing everything he can to clean up the Department of Education from all the sexual innuendo that's been pushed in our schools. He's been banning the sex change procedures for minors. But even he signed one of the most popular bills he signed into law this year was the Take It Down Act, which was to protect young people from sexual exploitation. These are the accusations. There's a lot of conspiracy theories out there that Trump is in the Epstein files, and that's the reason he didn't do it.
Well, we know he's in the Epstein files.
Sam Cedar and Abby Phillip didn't just argue policy, they dismantled the talking points MAGA surrogates have leaned on for years. The moment Terry Schilling tried to paint Trump as a defender of children, the conversation flipped because the facts simply didn't match the script. The panel walked through contradictions, polling data, and years of shifting excuses. And the picture that emerged was a leader distancing himself from the transparency he once promised. What made the moment so striking was how unprepared MAGA defenders were for a topic that hits at the core of their own rhetoric: elitism, secrecy, and power protecting itself. It became the rare debate where the usual slogans couldn't carry the argument.
This would have been over 6 months
Here's
ago.
why I don't think that's a plausible explanation. There are many things that happen that are a distraction from the economy that Trump is very much actively engaged in. He threw Marjorie Taylor Greene underneath a 50-ton bus, this week. And here's what she had to say about that. And I think it's really telling that she is the one who is really on the receiving end of Trump's ire on this issue.
I wasn't a Johnny-come-lately to the MAGA train. I was day one 2015. And I'll tell you right now, this has been one of the most destructive things to MAGA. Watching this actually turn into a fight has ripped MAGA apart. And the only thing that will speak to the powerful, courageous women behind me is when action is actually taken to release these files, and the American people won't tolerate any other bull.
I mean,
That's powerful.
She's not wrong that this has ripped MAGA apart in a way that we have not seen. And there have been so many things that Trump has thought are distractions he doesn't like, whatever. He has never reacted this way.
Absolutely. And I also think that people haven't really fully appreciated that for the day ones, the people like Marjorie Taylor Greene that in her community, they think they chose Donald Trump. They see themselves as a movement amongst themselves, in which Donald Trump embodied, certainly grew, but they think of themselves as somewhat beyond him.
But we should also talk about those who say that she's doing this for a reason. Despite the fact that they think she has ulterior motives, I do believe that she truly is upset with this person that she believed in, because he is her day one. She is the person who wanted
I think a lot of things can be true at once. She certainly has individual political goals. I'm not discounting those type of things, but I do believe I've met these people who are kind of day one MAGA folks who really have followed the QAnon trail, who have followed
and really seen him,
all of this Pizzagate, and who have really seen him as a champion against the elite. And so I'm saying in this moment, there has been a break because he has taken the wrong side on an issue, and they're not going to come back.
I do wonder if it is partly the case that the organizing principle that underlies the personality, cult of Trump is this idea that he was going after the elite's establishment, they really do think, I use the word cabal in a very specific, because they use that term to describe the sort of global elite, so to speak. That's why Pizzagate happened. Somebody went to a pizza shop with a weapon and shot the place up. And to have that house of cards just completely fall apart, it feels like it's destabilizing.
Well, drain the swamp. Right? This is what you were talking about with the swamp, with this sort of notion that all these elites are going to protect each other, and he's now ostensibly protecting these elites. And I will also say that, Stead made a great point, I think. This also serves, I think, as a surrogate for a lot of other frustrations that people may be having in the MAGA movement with Trump, but it's much harder to articulate. And not just it's more
politically
difficult.
more tricky.
It's politically more tricky to articulate, and this is something that's sort of low hanging. It also serves as like a descendant of QAnon and all of this.
Well,
Yeah,
you-
we
all
do have to leave it there on this one. Next for us.
There's a reason this
Cedars-
issue is cutting deeper than any policy fight. It challenges the myth that Trump would expose the powerful rather than shield them. Even longtime MAGA figures admit that the movement feels shaken, not because of partisan spin, but because this moment collides with everything they believed he represented. The phrase "drain the swamp" starts to lose meaning when the person who popularized it appears reluctant to release documents tied to one of the biggest scandals involving wealth and influence. And as that hesitation becomes clearer, more Republicans, not Democrats, are demanding answers. It's a political earthquake that has only just begun to ripple outward.